Hello guys, this is Tuki. Today I'm bringing you a different video. This is a review of the controls made by VirtualFly. We have the yoke named Yoko, the control quadrant named Vernier, and the rudder named Ruddo. This set of controls try to mimic the Cessna 172 or similar planes. Let's see one by one how do they perform on the simulator. Okay, let's start with the Ruddo. This rudder imitates the Cessna rudder, the real one. It's made of metal, and we will try to connect it now on live. A hot connection. Now you will see the simulator instantly recognizes the Ruddo with its name, VirtualFly Ruddo Plus. You can keep default or customize. We keep default. We have on the menus the filter of assigned controls, and when we select the VirtualFly Ruddo, we can see there the picture of the controls rudder axis. Okay, let's push it. It's very hard. It's very hard to move by hand. With my feet I could move it easily. Anyway, the manufacturer provides different types of springs, so you can adjust how hard are the feeling of the control. Then we have the brakes. The left brake axis, this is for differential brake. We brake with the left wheel and the right wheel. They are separated, and we use the differential brake to brake with one wheel and easily turn to one side on the ground. So we push it. I can push it too hard with the hands too. The rudder is on the ground as it should be. We have three options to fix it to the ground so it don't move. There are some holes, insert bolts to fix it to the ground. One option. Second option, there's some Velcro included. And third option is a strap, so you can pass the strap from that hose to your chair. It doesn't mind if the chair has wheels. You put the strap around it and the controls will not move. Let's go for the Yoko, the yoke. This one has a feeling like some of the real planes, and it's made of metal with Hall effect sensors, has mounted springs inside. Feeling of the control is the following way. From 30 degrees to 30 degrees, it's some kind of light. It's easy to move. But if you want to push more than 30 degrees to 45, you have to make more force and a lot of force to put it to the maximum. You need different amount of force to move different ranges. It's yes, that way. And the same on the pitch axis. When you are near the center of the controls, the pitch is not so hard, but when you try to push it a lot or pull it a lot, you have to make more force. It simulates perfectly how hard are the controls on heavy planes like twin-engined planes or heavier planes like Cessna 182 or 172. Now let's see how it connects. Let's see, connection, hot connection, new device detected, VirtualFly Yoko Plus. We keep it default, and we go to see Yoko, flight control surfaces, ailerons, perfectly, an elevator, perfect, and control trimming, elevator trim down, nose down, elevator trim up, nose up, rudder trim right, rudder trim left, disconnect autopilot. There's a button in front, it has a very nice feeling. We have the smart camera in a frontal button here. This smart camera is very useful to instantly look to the runway when you are parallel to the runway and you are making a traffic pattern. You push the button and the pilot's view looks to the runway, so you can get the best reference for entering the glide path for landing. Okay, more things in the HUD. We have in the HUD app this the next pilot position or the previous pilot position. This is for moving the views in the cockpit from the instruments view to the view with instrument and windscreen, or the view of the windscreen with the upper part of the instruments. Then there's a quick view left, quick view right, 45 degrees right, 45 degrees left, 120 degrees right, and 120 degrees left. We also have the reset cockpit view in the push button. So this is a 8-position HUD plus a button. That is the default configuration. You can manage this configuration. I will change something because I need the reverse on one control. So I'll set the reverse on this button. I will assign it here to a button just by search by input. I push that button and it says this is already used somewhere else. Do you want to bind it anyway? Yeah, validate. And then it's create a profile. Here you can select different profiles for different planes very easily. And let's talk about the Vernier. This is a power management control, and you have the three basic controls that you can find on a Cessna or on a Piper. I'm a Cessna pilot, and the feeling is exactly the same that I felt on a Cessna 172. Throttle has the same feeling and same size as the real one, and you can adjust and fix the throttle so it doesn't move with the vibrations of the plane, of the real plane, of course. This grip has the feeling to put the finger here and move the control gently by knowing which position of the finger you have in relation to the throttle. This is how we fly in reality. We fly that way. The propeller pitch, with it you control the RPM of the plane, and it's exactly the same as the real plane. This is metal. When you push the button you can move, and also you can adjust very precisely the RPM of the propeller by just turning more or less RPMs. This is very nice to adjust the RPMs, for example, for reaching cruise level. If your plane does fly at cruise level at 2300 RPM, you can adjust it with a lot of precision in that way, just turning and watching the instrument. The same procedure applies to the mixture. This is a full reach mixture, and this is lean or cut off mixture. In that position the engine stops, and you have to push the button to move the axis, but you can also turn, especially when you're flying over 3000 feet, and you have to progressively lean the mixture so your engine behaves correctly. The material is metal, and below there's a clamp that fixes it to the table exactly the same way as the Yoko. So you can see that the look, the feeling, it's the same. It's exactly the same as the real plane. And finally, the Vernier. I will connect it to the USB hot connection. It is recognizing instantly. Its name is BF-TPM Vernier. We keep it default. We have the power management, mixture, propeller and throttle. Now I'll move the axis. The minimum position, the maximum position, propeller and mixture. Have to push the button, remember. Please note, when I move by rolling, how precise is that axis and that one when moving and adjusting the mixture or adjusting the propeller RPM. The Vernier has Hall effect sensors, so its life can be unlimited.
Well, now I'll try all the controls by flying the Cessna 182 from Canada, which is a plane that is way more sensitive than the default planes in the simulator. I am at the famous Saint Barthélemy, which is a very demanding runway to land. You'll see the controls moving, so just enjoy the flight. Well, for making this review, I've been flying 2 months with the controls, so I've tested it in deep. I have to point out that this is another thing. I've been reviewing and testing and flying all kinds of controls from all kinds of manufacturers, and these controls are another thing, completely another thing. From the moment you take out of the box, from your first moment the controls, from the very last moment, this is another thing. Built on metal, very heavy, Hall effect sensors on all axes. It is not strange that with this quality, when you go to the VirtualFlight website just to check the price, if you are interested, yes, they are expensive, but the quality, for me, at least for me, they are not paying me. I'm just a reviewer for the printed Spanish magazine Avion Review. That's all I have to say. These controls are another thing. Maybe it's normal they have another price. The Yoko and the V3rnio are really outstanding. The Ruddo, it's also outstanding, but I have to say you have to get used to them, or at least you have to know how real planes brake. The yaw axis works fine as any other axis, but the braking axis, their normal movement is in fact the 50% of the braking power. The last 50% of braking power is the force you apply to the brakes. Just force, not movement. So when you use them, you understand why they put a strap on the kit. It's just to fix your chair in respect to the rudder. If you need so much force to brake, to apply the maximum braking power, then your chair will move backwards. With that strap, it doesn't happen. But this means that the Ruddo is a different thing, but completely a different thing in respect to other rudders I have tested, and you have to get used to it. Maybe you have seen my other videos where I make very short landings, and I need the maximum braking power quick, but I had to get used to it, and I could do it. No problem. Just saying, you have to know how the Ruddo works. Maybe the most realistic thing I have been testing about controls. Well, that's all about the VirtualFlight controls, and in this video I just explained my experience with them. Thanks for watching.